Hello everyone, I'm Brian Miller, and this is the Newsnet Weekly Roundup, the weekly show where I break down the biggest news stories out of the Star Wars universe. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell to be notified anytime there's new content. Without further ado, let's get started. During Celebration this year, it was announced that Daisy Ridley would be returning as Rey in Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy's new Jedi Order film. Now, according to Jeff Snyder, John Boyega is set to reprise his role as Finn in the upcoming film as well. The report was dropped on the Hot Mic with Jeff and John, where co-host of the podcast John Roca jumped in and said he's heard from two separate and reliable sources that Kathleen Kennedy and John Boyega have quote-unquote buried the hatchet after having a few conversations earlier in the year, and that he is coming back for the new film. Speaking with the Times of London, Boyega had this to say: "For me, Star Wars has made the man, in a sense. The experiences, the fun times, good times, ugly times, bad times. It makes you who you are as you navigate through the industry. And that has definitely been interesting. I feel like the arc that JJ tried to tie up, that's where I feel comfortable with the release of him. And since then, I've been able to enjoy, as a fan, The Mandalorian and Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm enjoying the balance of all things." Boyega's stance on Star Wars has been an interesting situation to watch unfold. He approached the first film as his childhood dream and was very excited about playing the character in The Force Awakens and the follow-ups. However, he has never really shied away from sharing his disappointment in how The Last Jedi handled his character. The Force Awakens set him up as a potential Force user in the making, a storyline that Rian Johnson didn't pursue. The Rise of Skywalker played the best of both worlds, hinting that The Force Awakens was setting up something larger, but never really diving too much into it. Boyega knows that JJ wanted to do more with his character, and at one point even said that he'd be willing to come back as long as Kathleen Kennedy and JJ Abrams were involved. It seems like we will not be hearing much else about this movie for a bit. According to Kennedy, the next iteration of the script will be finished by the end of May, and pre-production is set to begin in August, according to Snyder, with cameras intended to roll next February. The film from director Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy is presumably targeting a December 19th, 2025 release date held by Disney, though this is yet to be confirmed by Lucasfilm. Besides setting up the father and son relationship between Din and Grogu, The Mandalorian has also acted as our main point of reference when thinking about the New Republic era, the time period in between the original and the sequel trilogy. The third season dived a bit deeper than before, showing us the Capitol and some law enforcement as well. In an interview with Empire magazine, The Mandalorian co-writer and executive producer Dave Filoni talked about setting up the New Republic era of the franchise as the opposite of the Age of Rebellion, where the Empire and the Rebels have flipped their positions. The Empire is now the underdog, causing havoc to a government that is struggling to thrive after thinking they could improve upon what was there before. "I always relate to my own Star Wars experience and think, how can I give kids now that feeling? Something that I understood as a kid was the conflict established in A New Hope, the Rebels versus the Empire. I thought something in the expanded universe that was very easy to understand was, in the New Republic and the Remnant Empire, that the tables have turned a little bit. It's actually the Empire that's acting more like rebels because their resources are on the downside. But the New Republic is struggling because, while they're all trying to work together, they have different ideas about how to be effective. That was an interesting story, and I think it creates a big piece of history where you can tell all kinds of stories." As he went on to explain, it was really in the third season that he and Favreau finally spent some time developing the politics of the New Republic era. Before this, we had only seen a couple of X-Wings and some uniforms. In the third season, we finally went to Coruscant. If you took and placed Mando in the original trilogy time period, you would understand what's going on, because you understood the politics of the day. Now we've had to establish, starting in Mandalorian, and the idea with Werner Herzog that there were remnant Imperials still operating, that there's a remnant Empire and a New Republic. We really only got around to exploring the New Republic with the X-Wings in the first two seasons, and we finally went to Coruscant in the latest season. So everything builds a little bit, and we're fleshing out this part of the galaxy. This will not be abandoned moving forward either. Not only is Ahsoka introducing one of the heads of the Imperial remnants in Grand Admiral Thrawn, but we also know from the trailer that Mon Mothma will be appearing in the series, hinting that we could see more development on the political side of this new era really soon. The Hollywood Walk of Fame is set to honor Carrie Fisher with a star on the famed boulevard on Star Wars Day, May 4th, 2023. Fisher is joining her Star Wars co-stars, Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford, who received their stars with George Lucas in attendance in 2018. Fisher will receive the 2,754th star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in the category of motion pictures. Regarding the location of Fisher's star, producer of the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Ana Martinez, said, "I'm happy to add that her star is just a few feet away from the star of Mark Hamill and across the street from the star of her legendary mother, Debbie Reynolds." While we continually celebrate Fisher for her impactful performance as Princess Leia, through our celebration of Star Wars, it's important to pause in these moments of ceremony and truly appreciate the spirit, kindness, wit, and candor of a person whose on- and off-screen presence encouraged a generation of young women and fans to take charge and embrace the rebel within. Jude Law recently appeared on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon and talked about the making of Star Wars Skeleton Crew. While the actor didn't provide many new details about the show, he did share what his experience was like working with droids, aliens, and different creatures, as well as a specific moment on set where he experienced childlike wonder. Jude Law is best known for movie franchises like Sherlock Holmes, Fantastic Beasts, and Captain Marvel. It was announced in May last year that Law will also be joining the Star Wars franchise in a new live-action TV show, Star Wars Skeleton Crew. This year's Star Wars celebration provided more details. It was revealed that the actor will be playing a Jedi guiding 4 children who became lost in the Star Wars universe. When asked about what he could say about Skeleton Crew, Law talked about the show's overall direction and tone, referencing Amblin entertainment and the coming-of-age themes. It's got a little more, as they described it, Amblin, meaning it's an adventure of kids, but it's not in a kid's world. The jeopardy is real. Star Wars Skeleton Crew has recently wrapped filming. The series is being co-created by John Watts and Christopher Ford, who worked together on the recent MCU Spider-Man trilogy. It is also executive produced by Jon Favreau. Favreau did tease last year that the possibility of characters from Skeleton Crew appearing in the 4th season of The Mandalorian. At Star Wars Celebration in London, an exclusive preview showed Vane, the pirate from The Mandalorian Season 3, making an appearance. They also revealed some high-profile directors attached to the series, including The Daniels, Bryce Dallas Howard, and David Lowery. Star Wars Skeleton Crew is set to debut later this year on Disney+. And finally, we've got some new canon material for you this week. Star Wars Jedi Survivor finally saw its release on Friday. We also got the 6th short from the Young Jedi Knights series titled Tabor's Pirate Showdown. As far as comics, we got Darth Vader Black, White, and Red #1 and the High Republic Adventures Quest of the Jedi #1. Reviews for those entries into the canon timeline can be found on our website. And that does it for your Newsnet Weekly Roundup this week. All of these stories and more can be found in greater detail on our website, StarWarsNewsNet.com. Don't forget to check back regularly for updates to stories and breaking news out of the Star Wars universe. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to our channel, and be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also follow me on Twitter at BrianMiller1138 and catch me each week on my show, the Star Wars Canon Podcast. Until next time, may the Force be with you.